last time we ended off on this question here. We have the answers open now so we can see what the possible answers are. And by looking at these, it's pretty obvious. So anything that ends in this with a country name will generally be either Ri or Dia. And I think with country names, it's usually Dia, like Leah, Somalia. So this one is pretty obvious. Let's once again hide the answers as we move on. Okay, Somalia. There we go. And the capital of Somalia is Mogadishu. Mogadish. Okay. Okay, I don't think I know how to read this first one actually. So this is probably kanji I have not regularly encountered. And this one I can only guess at. So this is like probably a ha or a ba or a pa. Ba mai. Maybe she. So perhaps. So as you see, like trying to sound out these letters without knowing what this even is, I sound like a kid trying to learn to read at the beginning of something, right? So let's take a look at the possible answers here. Guatemala, Marawi, Lebanon. Oh, that might be it. But let's see, Finland. It's not Finland. I'm sure Finland ends with the done. We might have actually done it already. I can't remember. Marawi, Guatemala, and Lebanon. Lebanon. This one's tough. But this, I think we would usually have a ba. So let's go with Lebanon. Lebanon. There we go. It was right. Beirut is the capital of Lebanon. We got this cool tree there. Next. So this, when it comes to country names, even this first one is not always like whole, but it could be. Like the thing that comes to mind first would be Honduras, but I'm not confident in how you would read these two in this either. So let's look at the answers again, see what we're working with. Andorra, Nicaragua, Iquitos, and Bachikan. Bachikan. I don't know. Iquitos, I don't think it's Iquitos. Andorra, Nicaragua. The meaning behind it, I would say, whole for like law and stuff. The Vatican makes the most sense, but I don't know if this is right. So I'm just gonna have to guess. We're going Vatican, and we were right. So Vatican, this is how you read Vatican, apparently. That's tough. Vatican. So I guess this is Bachikan. I don't know. So Vatican is the capital of Vatican City is Vatican City. So what have we got here? Shoot, we just did this one, right? What was that? I already forgot. Ka ko so I think this line follows my mouse, so if I accidentally go too low, don't look. I didn't. Ooh, this is one of those ones where I think one, if I remember how I'm supposed to read this, and two, based on the amount of letters, it's a long one. Let's say, I mean, I don't think it's like Uzbekistan, but it's gonna be something long-ish like that. Um, Probably ends in ka. Based on the previous ones, I guess it would start with ko most likely. Colombica. No, I'm just trying to think of countries that begin with the ko sound. Uh, but I am blanking on these, and we don't want to spend too much time. So let's take a look. I'm gonna probably feel foolish saying this. Grenada, Brazil, Liberia, and Costa Rica. There we go. That makes sense. Costa Rica. So I guess this is Ri in this case anyway. I don't remember what it was just a moment ago. I think it was actually different. So ta, datsu, yeah, that makes sense. It would be ta or da in a lot of places. This one seems to end up as su once in a while. So Costa Rica, Costa Rica. Yeah, I thought it would actually be a longer name, but that sounds right. Costa Rica, okay. Costa Rica. And San Jose is the capital. I don't know, I have a question mark here. I guess the E, something went wrong with it. So San Jose, Costa Rica. All right. So maybe like Kosapu Satan or Kosapu Sutan. It might not be cool. So it's gonna be something Stan, right? This will be Stan, I guess. I should actually go back at some point and Kazakhstan. That makes sense. So this can be Ka, Sa could be Za, and then this is Pu or Fu, so Kazakhstan. That's my answer. That's what I'm going with. Let's see, Mauritania, Argentine, Kazakhstan, and Ireland. So obviously Kazakhstan makes the most sense. Let's go with that. Yes, Kazakhstan. And the capital of Kazakhstan is Astana. Astana. So that was kind of fun because I think with a lot of the knowledge we've got up until now, we realize this is Stan. It might not always be Stan, but it seems to be here. And like all three of these are slightly different readings than I was expecting, but I guess Fu is pretty normal for this. Sa becomes Za, and yeah, I usually go Ko first, but Ka. So Kazakhstan makes sense. Okay, Mokara or Morocco. Did we do Morocco already? But no, it ends in Ra, so it might not be Mo in this case either. Let's see. Mokara. Mokara. I don't know. What do you think? So let's look at the first two answers then. Bangladesh and Argentine, or sorry, Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan, I'm not seeing it. Bangladesh, not seeing that either. Let's see the next two. Indonesia and Argentine. Argentine, Indonesia. Well, I'm seeing none of the answers that I would have actually liked to see. I actually expected it to be end in kara, but none of these end in that. Azerbaijan, bang. I mean, I can kind of see bang, I guess. Ka, like goo is closest to ka, I guess. And da, bang kara, and then just forget about the dash entirely, I guess. Let's go with Bangladesh. We were right, 40%. 40% is a pretty low on Bangladesh. So that is definitely hard to read. because it's just like mo kara. This is what it looks like anyway. So, Bangladesh, the capital is Dhaka. So Kogari. I don't know. Let's see. Pity. Pity. Could be pity or gari. What do we have? And it often ends in ah, right? Bulgaria. Bulgaria. Did we already have that one? I don't remember. I don't think we've had any repeats, so it's either Bulgaria or Bulgaria or Hungary, maybe. Let's take a look at the first two answers: Yemen and Oranda, the Netherlands. It doesn't look like either to me. Next two, Hungary and Ecuador. Okay, Hungary. I'm liking Hungary, so it's either Bulgaria or Hungary. And since we only have one, I am pretty sure it's Hungary. But I would have liked to be able to determine which it was before looking at the answers, because if they had not Ecuador, but Hungary and Bulgaria and others that end in Gadi, I wouldn't have known. So I'm pretty sure it's Hungary, though. Yes, Hungary. So, Hungary. And the capital of Hungary is Budapest. Okay. So, Croatia. Croatia. Something that ends in Saya, or could be Karashia, I guess. Karasua. Sua. This one is definitely, because I'm pretty sure this will be Russia or Rasea or Rasua at least, and this one we know is Ko Shia. Costa Rica, no, should end in A, not Ka. So Komoro, no. Yeah, I'm blanking again. Let's look at the first two answers. Ah, okay. That was pretty easy now, I guess. Pretty easy as in looking at the answers, and pretty easy. So the first one's Croatia. Then we have Micronesia, Kazakhstan, Mexico. So not ko as we usually had it, but ku, and not ra as we usually had it, but ro. And we kind of get rid of the achia, becomes, I guess, ashi, and then ah. Okay, that's like kind of hard to read based on what we've done with the country names so far, but I mean, it kind of makes sense given the very loose rules that we have. Croatia, 69%. Okay, the capital of Croatia is Zagreb. Zagreb. So, oops. I did not see the answers, and hopefully you didn't either. It's probably like Slovenia or Slovakia. Slovakia makes sense to me. I would say Slovakia. Like Sudo Ku Slovak. I don't know. Let's take a look at the first two. Seychelles, Portugal. I don't think so. Bahrain, Slovakia. There we go. Slovakia. Okay. I mean, this, as long as you don't have to write it, which you might at some point, This is pretty easy, I think. Slovakia, 67.6, Slovakia. And their capital is Bratislava. Bratislava. Okay. What would this be then? Probably a short name. Something like Cuba. Cuba. There you go. That's okay. That one actually makes sense. Cuba. Let's see. And we have Cuba, D, 86.9%. And remember, if we were looking at the answers from the start, it would be a lot more obvious, but we're trying to figure it out just with these letters. Cuba, yes. Cuba. The capital of Cuba is Havana. Okay. Coca. What is this called? This is probably an easy one. I mean, it's definitely easy to write, but I don't know how we're supposed to read this as a country name. So, Coca. I don't know. It's like a kingdom of somewhere, maybe, or I guess we'll have to look at the answers. I don't know offhand, actually. So, what are these here? I don't know. We'll look at those at some point. So let's go Congo, Suriname, America, and Lithuania. So Congo makes the most sense, I think. This could be Kong in country names. Ka, I guess, can be go Congo. Okay, Congo. The Democratic Republic of Congo. So you'd have to actually add things before this, like Minshu Kyowa Koku. This with Minshu Kyowa Koku after it, I mean. And the capital of Congo is Kinshasa. Kinshasa. Okay. Totsunis. to. Tunisia? No, maybe. Tunis. I can kind of see it. Okay, I'm going with Tunisia. Tunisia. I don't know how to pronounce it in English, but Tunisia. Let's see what we have. Burujin, Mongol, Sierra Leone, and Tunisia. I was saying Sierra, I think, but Tunisia. 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 Only the one in the middle is like normal for reading. So Tunisia. But we got it. Tunis. This looks actually a little bit closer to Tunis. I could see you reading this as Nis. Chu. I don't think you ever read it as Chu normally, but maybe there's some exception. So the capital of Tunisia is Tunis. Okay, so this is what was this? Oh, that's I should actually know all of these very well, but I might not have been studying recently, so got to get back into that. And I mean the characters and their several of their readings, not the country names. I've never studied most of these, so duh. Yeah, I do not know offhand. Let's take a look. Open the first two: Micronesia and Seychelles. I don't think it's either of those. Rwanda, maybe, and Montenegro. So I think there is a Ru. One. That's a bit of a stretch. Da, yeah, we can do da. Rwanda. Okay, Rwanda, 67%. So the capital of Rwanda is Kigali. Kigali, Rwanda. And they actually used to have a flag that looked a lot like Team Rocket from Pokemon. They had the big R on it for Rwanda, and it was the stoplight colors previously. But then there was some very terrible things that happened, and they updated their flag to get rid of the red. They didn't want to be associated with the bloodshed and such. So this is Rwanda, it seems. Okay. Ikunaya. Hoton Daya. Ikunaya. I don't know. Kunaya. Something that would end in maybe nai. Naya. Nothing's come to mind. Let's open the first two answers. Sri Lanka and Sudan. Probably neither of those. I think it ends in just Guinea and Macedonia. Okay, which one of these? It's gotta be Guinea or Macedonia. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you could read this as Gi. That should have come to mind earlier, actually. Kind of Ginaya. Ginaya. So I was saying like Iku as an Ikudo or whatever, but Gi makes more sense in this case anyway. Ginaya. Okay. Ginaya. Guinea. Guinea. And the capital of Guinea is Conakry. Conakry. That's it. Conakry. It kind of reminds me of the in England. There's like this sort of accent that they use, the Cockney accent, right? The Jason Statham accent. I think this kind of reminds me of Conakry. Cockney. I don't know. Anyway, let's go. Next. Hishi. Hitaku. Or not Taku. Hishi. Haiti. Haiti. That makes sense. But it's not there. So I was actually pretty sure this would be Haiti. So we have Micronesia. I don't know. Kyrgyz, Cyprus. I don't know. Bahama. And Fiji. Fiji. I guess it could be Fiji. It's got a high percentage of um, right answers, so I am going to say that this has to be Fiji because you can read he and she, so Fiji. It makes the most sense out of anything here. Even though I don't really, it doesn't look very Fiji-ist to me. Fiji, that's the right answer, so Fiji. And the capital of Fiji is Suva. Fiji. Fiji is, that's... Okay, so Hagoma. I don't know. Hagoma. Bahama. 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 First answer there. The others are Kiribati. Kiribati. In English, this was a bit different, I think, Kiribati. But Germany and Portugal. So this is obviously Bahama. Bahama. The Bahama, their capital is Nassau. Nassau. Kind of reminds me of the Pokemon Nashi, right? Nassau. Maybe it doesn't, but Bahama. I guess this middle one would be Ha. Ya, Yaman. Nariman. Yemen. Yaman. Yemen. There we go. Yemen. Yemen. So none of the others look like this. Yaman. Yemen. Yemen. And the capital of Yemen is Sana'a. Sana'a. Sozoro. Amang. Oman. Oman. There we go. Those. I think I'm getting better at this. Let's see. Oman. It's right there at the top. Oman. That was actually pretty quick. I'm proud of myself for getting it. So this up here is a in the top corner of the flag I'm trying to point at is a weapon that they use, a very I can't remember the name offhand, but you got to remember that for the flag tests. So the capital of Oman is Muscat, which is like a type of grape, I think. Oman. Let's see. We write it like this. Oman. Yeah. Hot Sakura. It's Tomoe Sakura. Cosmos. Paso. I don't know. Bosnia. Would they have Bosnia Herzegovina as like a full name? I don't know. But I'm not getting too much here coming to mind. So, but the first two answers: Venezuela, Parao. That's probably it, Parao, and Belgium and Philippines, Parao. And Parao has a very similar flag to Japan, so that's got to be Parao. Parao. So this is Rao, I guess, in this case. And their capital is Ungerulumuto. That's a pretty tough capital. Ungerulumuto. Yeah, I gotta remember that. Ungerulumuto. Parao. So, Parao. Okay, next. Uganda. Uganda. This one, really easy to read. I mean, really by pretty easy. It's got to be Uganda. Uganda. There we go. Nothing else looks in remotely like it, so Uganda. Yes, Uganda. And the capital of Uganda is Kampala. Kampala. All right, I think you might be running out of time. Let's just see here. What have we got? This. Maybe this is definitely one of those ones where if we think about it, we should be able to understand what it is. So it was in this one we use in Vietnam. So this could be Beto Chia. Maybe Beto Chia. So I would have said Croatia, but we already did Croatia, so I think so. And I don't think this is the same. So, let's actually end it here, and everybody can look at the screen and think, what country is this? And we'll continue in the next video. So like, subscribe, and level up.